Hey kiddos, so this is another week of positive action with Miss Ashley, and we have talked about positive action, self-concept, happiness, success, being unique, and we discussed last week how family and relatives can have an influence over you. Okay, do you all remember the story with Meg and how she got upset because people was always jumping onto her? And then by the end of it, they were actually started complimenting her and telling her how much they loved her. But all that negativity and the positivity had an influence on Meg's self-concept with herself. Okay? So I'm going to actually combine two different lessons today. All right? So lesson 8, we are going to talk about how friends and others can have a positive and a negative influence on you and your self-concept. So like we discussed with relatives, friends and other children you play with in sports or go to school with or part of the club with, sometimes can say negative things to you that can have a very negative influence on you and how you feel about yourself. All right. But today we're going to do an activity and I'm going to need you to find a neighbor, a kid in your neighborhood that you hang out with, or if you don't have any kids that live around you, I didn't really have a lot on my street when I grew up, but you can use a family member, okay? But I want you to sit down with someone else, and I want you to write down 3 things that you all have noticed about each other, okay? This doesn't necessarily have to be positive things. I would prefer if you wrote nice things about each other, okay? But it could be like, maybe your friend tells you that you're not a good listener, or you always cheat at hide and seek, just write down 3 things. Okay. So I have a friend in mind. I don't have one here. Okay. And I'm going to write 3 things I like about my friend Lindsay. Okay. She's super honest. She's always nice. And the 3rd thing is that she's very outgoing. Okay? So just for an example, I want you and a friend in your neighborhood to write down 3 things, okay, that you have noticed about each other. I would prefer if these weren't physical things either, like your hair's brown, or I want it to be more of like a quality trait, okay? Pretty please? It could be that your friend's brave, or that they sing really well, or like I said, you can be like, hey, you cheat at hide and seek. But once you write these 3 things down, okay, I want you all to sit and discuss it with one another, okay? And I want you to think about how the 3 things that they wrote down, how it makes you feel, okay, and how you respond to it. And then I want us to talk about how experiences in our lives have affected our self-concepts. So experiences are things that's happened to you, which can be good or bad, that have had an influence on how you feel about yourself and how it's changed your life in one way or another. And I want you to write this down, okay? And I want you to do this with a friend. Like I said, if you don't have a friend, with someone in your home. And I want you to write down 3 experiences that you want to talk to them about, okay? I'm going to write down, mine would be how I learned to ride a bike. I can remember my first time riding my bike without my training wheels, and I wiped out on the concrete. And I had cuts and I was bleeding, and it kind of scared me, but I thought, if this is as worse as, if that's as bad as it's going to get, then I'm going to be okay. So I ended up getting back up on my bike and riding it again. How I learned to throw a baseball. third one I would like to talk about would be when my niece and nephew were born. It was awesome. I become an aunt. It was a life-changing experience for me. Okay? So I want you on your same piece of paper that you wrote down the 3 things with your friend, I want you to write down 3 experiences that you would like to sit and talk to your friend about. Okay? And then I want you all, just like the things up above that you wrote about each other, I want you to discuss these experiences in your life, okay? And I want you to think about how it has influenced you. For instance, like I said, when I wrecked my bike, it scared me and it made me hesitant to get back on the bike. But the more I thought about it, you know, I've already wrecked. It probably can't get no worse than this. So it actually gave me courage to get back on the bike and ride again. All right? So I want you to just, you know, sit and reflect on 3 main things in your life that has really, that's stuck with you, that you'll never forget, you'll always remember, okay? And like I said, it can be somebody teaching you how to throw a baseball. It could be a brother and sister being born into your family. It could be anything. It could be your guardian or somebody doing something exceptional, getting a good, you know, a different job or a new car, or, I mean, it could just be anything, all right? But once you sit and do this, I want you to sit with your friend and I want you to discuss the 3 quality traits that I asked you all to write down about each other. And I want you all to discuss 3 important experiences in your life. Okay? And then I want you to just think about how that makes you feel. Okay? I want you to realize that friends and others can have a very huge influence on your self-concept as well as the many experiences that you have had in your life. So, do that for me, and I will see you next time. Wash your hands. Bye, guys.